Thank you very much, James. Indeed, we are here on a pretty huge matchup, FURIA and Sharks. FURIA have had their issues. Narrowly losing to NRG definitely would have been a stinging blow, but surely, Vent, surely this is their game to lose.
You'd imagine so, right? And I mean, FURIA, for all the I guess heartaches they've had so far, losing to ITZ on day one, and then obviously dropping to Energy yesterday, they haven't been completely out of it. Yes, we probably would have expected them to beat ITZ. I think it's fair game to lose to Energy with the way they're playing right now, but it's not like we've seen a massively underperforming FURIA. I think we're seeing a team that's kind of coming to terms with the fact that teams are more and more looking into them. They actually know how to deal with their playstyle in a better fashion. I mean, it's not like we're still seeing FURIA being completely countered by any means, but obviously it's an added challenge on their journey to the majors. But still, going into this, I think it'd be kind of a fool to go against FURIA here in a best-of-3 series.
Yeah, I honestly think that this should be a fairly comfortable game, but I mean, when pressure's on the table, when you are so close to potentially being eliminated, at the end of the day, that definitely can mount the pressure, you know, and players react very differently to pressure. You could see there, again, Vinny just sat down, chilling. This seems to be like a pre-game ritual for some of the FURIA players.
Yep. Absolutely, and whatever it takes to get you into your state of mind, really, where you can perform the best, you go with that every single time. It's kind of cool, though, especially when you consider how loud they are once they get into the game as well. It's been a common theme for all the Brazilian sides here. Now we get another Brazil-on-Brazil matchup, which I'm really excited for. ITZ versus Sharks yesterday was so much fun to watch. Not just obviously for what was going on with the server, but just seeing the kind of passion that these guys have for the game and how much it means to them every single round win, and especially when it gets as close as it does end up being. Obviously, we have the Cello 1v4 to clutch out for ITZ to take them through. But yeah, I think it's fair as well what the desk mentioned, that even though the map pool on an average day should favor FURIA pretty heavily, with how Sharks have been playing on Nuke so far in this minor, it's not necessarily just a foregone conclusion that we're going to see FURIA win out here, at least not without being pressured to the bitter end. Yeah,
that's where the kind of extra layers add to this and make it an even more spicy prospect. That is a whiff nade blocked. Vinny, a wry smile on his face.
We saw that a couple of times actually yesterday versus Energy as well. Just some poorly timed utility usage.
Leo,
doing him any good.
Oh my goodness, Sharks are obliterating FURIA. It's only Vinny has bounced back with the one kill, but RCF now can exit stand against him. Remember, it was RCF that had a bit of a awful day of it on Nuke yesterday. I think he was 0010 at one stage at least.
Yeah, no, I think he actually got to the point where he was at the very least 0-13 before he started getting into it. He did start bringing it back in a big way on the CT side, and I think that was a large part of the comeback that we saw out of Sharks. But yeah, getting off to a bit of a hotter start today could mean the world for Sharks. Vinny in this scenario, though, 55 seconds to go. Bomb on a different plane than him right now.
Yeah, he's trying to fake as if he's going towards Secret, try and thin out some of these CTs and see if he can get a 1v1. Now he's showing his hand. This is really rolling the dice, dude. First block on ladder. Are you kidding me? If ladder connected, just get out the server.
Yeah. No, that's when you know you're going to have one of those games that are just, everything's going to pan out for you if you're able to connect that stuff in the pistol round.
I mean, we've seen some pretty crazy stuff, like that Phelps double dig is going to stay in my mind on Mirage Window.
Oh, absolutely.
So we know sometimes it does work in your favor.
Definitely seen some pretty crazy displays of skill here, and I guess at times display of luck as well.
Yeah.
Here in the Americas minor, but it's been good fun, and I'm hoping it's not going to end just yet. Again, it's going to be the vent dive coming in from FURIA. Pretty adamant about it, and RCF already off to a much better start today. He's got to be feeling comfortable about how this is panning out for the time being.
Oh yeah, money in the bank as well, so his accountant is additionally happy. And he's able to back away.
How reserved he's going to be. Yeah, he's actually going to fall behind and let Leo, well, attempt to get behind on the backstab, but yeah.
Which I'm completely on board with, you know, because it allows them to have the option of staying with the MP9 if he chooses. He doesn't have to replenish the armor or any of the grenades. So you actually get quite a bit of equipment value subtracting the MP9. Now, they've got a lot of close-range weapons. So I'm curious if they will keep all 3.
Yeah, but you mentioned this yesterday as well, though. If there's any map to have this kind of work out for you, Nuke would be one of them, especially on the CT side, right? Yep. You can get on top of hut, you can play close quarters. Even if you have to defend into the lower bomb site, it's not like you need to post up one of these weapons out in yard. You could always just straight up play from secret, play from vents, and RCF is going to be able to find one. That's a decent trade in given the situation.
Oh, pulling a nade out, not checking the angles, and that's going to cost Vinny dearly with his life. Yuri additionally has been smacked down to just the 19 HP, but they do have the player advantage courtesy of K-Serato's AK-47. Leo and Exit, the last 2 remaining counter-terrorists. A lot of damage inflicted to Art, but the XM at that range not going to be able to yield the kill. Bomb plant, and it's looking like Furia are going to get on the board unless Exit can pull off a 1v3. Does have a FAMAS, so there's a bit of an upgrade from the MP9. Has some grenades and a kit. It's more the positioning, just the fact he's completely outmanned.
Yeah, he has no idea where K-Serrato is. He's been, well, more or less untouched for the better part of the round. Spots Art. Oh. It's a jump and also bungles the attempt of finding Art in the back, so that's pretty much it. That's the round done and dusted. Oh dear, Exit, oh dear. Yeah. Oh, he's not even going to find Yuri jumping out of the bomb site now. He's, well, going into pretty much the hardest target, which is K-Serrato. He's been, waiting around in the back halls there. The entirety of it. Well, I guess it's not the end of the world for Sharks either. Obviously, as you said, they held on to a lot of their weaponry from the second round. So the limited investment is going to allow them to repurchase into this one. A lot stronger of a buy. You could see already an op coming out on J&T and 2 rifles to boot. And Leo, again, with that auto shotgun, can still do a lot of damage playing on the inner bomb site. Rotations are going to be a little bit more dicey, but again, the auto shotgun is, well, the only shotgun that actually kind of works at range.
Yeah, this is a similar position to where Magisk used to play with it as well, and he was incredibly powerful with the XM on top of the hut. Straight down into Secret. RCF had a solid start so far on Nuke. He's going to be called upon once again, and he's going to pass with flying colors. He's going to be bested by Yuri's SG through the wall, but elsewhere, Sharks are holding firm. 2 players remain on Furia, but it is K-Serrato and Abel J. He certainly could muster up enough strength to take some of these CTs down with them. Bomb also dropped in a pretty sketchy position in case Serrato still on the outskirts of A. So he's going to try and make a move around the back of them. Still a minute to play with. He can play this slowly. Try and get Abel J to bait the rest of the CTs into a false sense of security and then strike. But they're actually moving to ramp, so I don't think K-Serrato is going to get anything just yet. All together, though, is a 4 on ramp. So this is going to yield quite a bit of map control and presence to K-Serrato if he decides to come down and help Abel J out, who has now got the bomb. They could go to the top site now. They could go A.
That's exactly what they're doing. So bomb plant's very likely for Furia here. That's going to give them some extra cash at the very least. Luckily for Sharks, though, they still have plenty of utility here to set up for a retake. So as long as they're smart about it, it's just still working out in their favor.
Just so perplexed that they all stacked ramp there, Ven. Like, you've just given away a free plant and a 2v4, and these are winnable. This site's not the easiest of retakes, especially with the angles that Furia are electing for themselves. As you say, they do have plenty of utility, but they have to toss it down range. They have to make this stick. Going to be nading to the back of the site. K-Serrato gets destroyed by the AWP of J&T, which is a really important kill, and Sharks will get the successful
Keep in mind, I mean, Sharks did something similar when we saw them play INTZ on Mirage, right? They had the entire round where it's a 1v4 versus Yell. Yep. Bomb was initially dropped on Catwalk, and I guess we assumed that they had vision on it. Mm-hmm. They clearly didn't. But yeah, they more or less stacked up 4 players towards the B bomb site, left A completely alone. Yell gets a bomb plant, finds 2 frags. That becomes a bit of an avalanche, has a bit of an avalanche effect on the economy of Sharks on that CT side as well. So those things definitely come into fruition. And I think for Furia, right, like now you're sure up a better buy than what you would have had because you get the bomb plant down. You can tell what kind of difference it makes, right? Extra SGs, even though you don't have the utility, at least you have the firepower to work with here on the side of Furia.
Leo absolutely wrecking the yellow connector. Unfortunately, doesn't really help his team. Aimed for Squeaky, of course.
But nobody's going to be standing there anytime soon.
Meanwhile, Furia making inroads outside. Coming back with a very healthy purchase of 3 SGs and 2 AK-47s.
The approach here from Sharks to be so passive about Yard is a little bit different from what we see a lot of teams do. They still kind of have all their bases covered, but main is a bit of a contention point here. We do have Leo holding it off from Rafters. He's going to need to be very successful, though, for this to hold off any sort of push.
Leo sprays on point, and he's going to stall the aggression with a smoke in the eyes of Vinny and Abel J. K-Serato and Yuri, though, trying their best to bounce back onto this, trying to exploit these fallen players. But now the stack is coming into play for Sharks. Still time for Furia to change their minds, to make a different decision.
I like the utility usage, though, from Sharks. They've set up in a very set defense there on the A-bomb site, re-smokes to make sure that they only have to worry about one avenue. One thing that they have let slip is Yuri. He knew he was out in Yard, but...
Oh no, Leo.
Is the timing going to work out?
Oh, how does he get away with that? Also dinking Vinny, I think, but it was through the wall, just 13 health.
Through a meaty brick wall. It's not going to do the damage, but at least gets information that he was backing out. Nack's going to get confirmation that somebody's gone downstairs.
Time though, Van. 10 seconds.
Yep.
They've got to go for this plant right now. They cannot afford to lose any players. There's a slight glitch through the wall as RCF's AWP showed itself. And that could prove to be curtains for Sharks. It was incredibly close, but they've got the plant down. Heavy damage inflicted to the remaining counter-terrorists, and 2 of them have just been culled, leaving Nack in a 1-on-2, and Yuri going to get 3 in a row. SG coming up clutch.
Yuri's been such a hero for Furia, especially on Nuke as well. I think if we were to look back at how he's performed on the 2 instances of Nuke we've seen so far, I think he's averaged something like 26, 27 kills. He's been out of his mind the entire time, and a large part as to why we see Furia being able to either have close games just, like they had versus Energy, or straight up winning. Yeah, valiant effort there on the retake from Sharks, but just losing track on how to rotate or when to rotate in time, sadly for them. And that was a big swing round as well. You can see CT side being forced back to pistols. Much healthier buy out of Furia. Even though there's 1 less SG, they're still going to have tons more utility, and you can work with that.
T players deciding to take peaks with confidence. Clearly, Leo plays hot a lot. He's got that perfect insta-dink round the corner. He just dinked Vinny and then ran off again with a P250.
Just learned his angles.
And it's the same play he tried to do last round too, when he dinked Vinny, but it was through the wall with the M4.
We saw Sharks having like no qualms about actually pushing aggressively in towards lobby or squeaky at random points in the round. And I think that might be why we're seeing a bit of a slower approach from Furia, because they rarely actually take this much time to move forward. When we saw them play versus Energy, it was just a continuous rush fest, it felt like.
Yeah.
Towards any sort of part of the map. Art with the wraparound, it's at least going to find exit, and Yuri gets enough time to adjust to find RCF.
Yep, JNT can't do too much about this, really. Can hear the bomb being planted. He's been smacked courtesy of Abel J. It's a clean sweep for Fury, although they lose quite a bit of HP in the process, but they have mitigated any kills coming their way. 3-3.
And here we see the update on us. This is very surprising.
Oh, yeah.
This is highly surprising, yeah. DD.bet heavily favoring Sharks here on Nuke, and it's not even their map pick.
Those are some great odds on Furia.
Yeah, that's all we're going to say.
Yeah.
Can't really say much more about it. Yeah, you have one of the favorites to actually go through the entire minor, make it to a major. They're a top 7 ranked team. They do play Nuke. They've beaten Astralis on Nuke. I mean, yeah.
I'm actually kind of curious if it's reversed and it was just an error.
Yeah, I was about to say,
because it would make more sense under those circumstances.
100%. But, I mean, we can only go by what we see on the screen. Nonetheless, though, it's even scoreline. Nailed it.
Paper beats rock. That's the most awkward fist bump you'll ever see.
Oh, man. It's just Square making sure that K-Serato stays on his toes. Here we go. Quick trades going back and forth. Nack finally responds, but he's going to lose another teammate. Sable J, well, everyone on the side of Furia works their way in towards the A-bomb site. Low HP, though, so RCF definitely within a chance here.
This is what we saw a great deal of yesterday. It's fast, frenetic, Nuke T rounds. Furia applying the pressure and pushing straight through. Bomb's going to get planted. HP does favor RCF. This is such a rough sight to come into when you know there's two players going to be eagle-eyed, crosshairs trained on the entry points.
Yeah, the most disastrous thing for him is that Furia's done the classic Furia thing, which is where they split up in a 2v1.
Oh, that's unfortunate. You can see what RCF was going for. He wanted to smoke out the ramp side so he can push out. A bit unlucky there.
Good idea, though, but not going to be enough. Furia do this so often where they're happy to just have the bomb run off by itself. So we've seen Art do solo vent dives with the bomb, just going for an immediate plant before, I mean, his teammates even gotten down to secret, all that kind of stuff. They've been pretty, I guess, secure in their own ability to be able to defend a bomb plant in any sort of type of situation.
So back to pistols. Sharks have been in this same position a couple of times already. Not going to really play out any differently either. JNT, they have his number. Does get a kill though before he drops. Not too bad.
It's a start. Now though, Furia is looking to continue on with what's already looking to be a pretty decent T-half. 5 rounds in the early stages here, and money's starting to become a non-factor for them as well. If we go back to that 2-3 round, right? Definitely could have swung in the favor of Sharks, and instead, it's been a bit of a run from the favorites here. Double off setup, though, is what we see Sharks responding with. So I'd imagine we're not going to see the same kind of aggressive pushes into Hut and Squeaky as we've seen them do at times. We're just going to rely on pickoffs and whatnot. This also makes retakes a lot harder here on the side of Sharks. They need to find something early on and kind of thin the herd before Fury actually gets a bomb plant down.
Right, exactly. Fury have been masters at, even if they do lose a player or two, getting the bomb down and then forcing the CTs to work for every inch on the retake. So Sharks have got to be very careful. You can see JNT taking so much damage from that Molotov.
Oh, he was a believer. Yeah, he was a believer. Still got to go back into it, though, so no ground gain or lost.
Yeah, he was anticipating the push behind the Molotov there, but he's lost 72 health for his troubles.
See if that comes into play. Obviously, if he's going to need to rotate up towards the top bomb site, that could be a bit of an issue. Again, you become a bit of a sitting duck going through vents or jumping up into heaven. But Furia, they've taken their time here. 40 seconds left. Just now making their way towards Secret. Nag definitely within an opportunity to spot this out, seeing how there's no utility being used, but they're going to make it down Secret without any sort of issue. Oh, JNT, well, hits the field goal, but no kills.
JNT able, though, to relocate, reposition with the AWP. 15 seconds. RCF has made his AWP work. They're going to pre-fire the shadow spot. A lot of players will play that. Yuri with a second entry, and that will be the round more than likely going the way of Furia.
More frags Yuri gets, the louder Grary sounds as well. Might be a correlation there. Yeah. Sharks just doing the only reasonable thing in this situation with the bomb site just being swept away by Yuri and Able J.
Kind of made me a bit salty to see JNT score that goal. You know, as we're both Newcastle fans, it's going to be something that's not going to happen often for us. Feels bad, man.
Feels really bad. Seen some pretty hurtful memes about Newcastle's.
The best meme of all, Steve Bruce.
Yeah.
Love to see it. It really... Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. 6-3. Furia are in the lead. They have won a chunk of rounds back-to-back now. And Sharks, they're just trying their best to step back up again.
They really are, and they kind of need to mount a bit of a stance right about now. You're already on 6th round. Sharks a little bit labored. Rebuy is going to be with an auto shotgun on RTF. This time the tempo has definitely been switched up a little bit from Furia. Much more aggression out towards Yard earlier on. Leo, forward position is going to get dunked by a nade in addition to the bullets from Vinny.
As hasn't started too much better, has it? Doesn't bode particularly well for Sharks, but they do have still 4 players alive, standing with full HP and some firepower. XM, RCF. JNT, though, going to be pressured outside. Plenty of terrorists smoking, molotoving, and creating a path, an inroad through main. Nuke can't fend them off. Neither can JNT. This is just starting to get a little bit ominous now. The spray can't quite claim a second kill, and RCF is the last man standing with 12 HP. And it would do him well to just save this AK-47.
Right now, it seems FURIA is just kind of bullying Sharks about with the fact that they have the better individuals on their side, and in addition to that, you give them SGs or AKs, get the one-shot potential. So they're happy to take duels left and right. You can see them just posted up in yard there, waiting around for anyone from Sharks to kind of show themselves. Obviously, nicely set up by flashes as well. It's going to give you an extra helping hand if you're FURIA, but they don't see necessarily too set on just having to roll into set executes to win rounds here. They're doing a lot with individual skill. So for RCF, it's going to be down to, well, RCF and the rest of Sharks. It's going to be up to them just being able to win out some duels to start them off, getting them off to a good start, not start every round down 4v5, or even worse. He's going to be able to stand his ground for the time being, doesn't get hunted down by FURIA. So at least, as you said, 1 AK being managed to salvage over.
Yeah, the issue, though, is that they're just consolation, little, small, I don't even necessarily want to call them victories. You're saving an AK, cool, but you're still 7-3 behind on your CT side, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a plaster over a gaping wound at this point, but it's hemorrhaging. So another tactical timeout. Sharks going to try and figure out how they can bounce back into this half.
They definitely haven't had too much reason to shout just yet. Very loud versus INTZ yesterday. Now they need to find their footing before this map runs away for them. I guess the good part, the one thing they can take solace in, is the fact that this was FURIA's map pick. And even though we kind of believe that we would see Sharks being actually able to put up a bit of a fight here on the map, they can still go into it knowing that Train is going to be a comfort pick for them. Nuke throws out the one-way smoke. Doesn't actually get to use it initially.
Oh, I like that he stopped shooting. He almost faked as if he dropped down in secret already.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I may be giving him too much credit, but I'm going to say that he's just got the 500 IQ.
No, you can definitely tell that he stopped shooting for a reason. He knows that that's a 50-50 battle. Like, he's given a pretty good chance for the FURIA player and Vinny to actually just retaliate on him with the muzzle basically firing through the smokes and the tracers.
Molotov to the back of the site, going to be going through the silos and not required because the bullet's already entered the head of Exit. RCF with 2, but he is the last man standing. He has been the shining beacon for Sharks here on the CT side, the only player that's really been putting kills together. The bomb is dropped on his side, but Vinny with the SG calms out another one. I love that shouting. I would love to know what that means.
I love the fact that Guerrier started the shouting and it immediately feeds into a double kill from RCF, which definitely puts the round on its edge.
And then he just stopped, of course. He's like, oh, hold on.
Gotta see if we can close this out. They do manage to do so in the end. So 8 rounds early for FURIA. They're looking solid right now. Yuri leading the charge. 11 frags to his name. As you said, on the side of Sharks, yeah, it's been mainly RCF. Do the heavy fragging here, and they need everyone else to step up. That last round, they even got the opening frag. Nuke winning out the first duel, right?
Yep.
Still not able to capitalize off of it. That is a bit of a worrying sign. Now back to pistols. So another problem amounting, but Exit's going to make the best out of a bad situation. Finds Art early on. Might get a little bit eager to try to find that weapon as well. And all he does is spot out secondary player. That's Yuri out in yard.
Shooting from Vinny, as Leo offered himself around the side of the silo. Nuke is going to drop the bomb. The one primary weapon with the UMP at his disposal takes minimal damage in the process. And it's really getting to that stage, though, Ven. They've got a player advantage. Two, actually, so never mind. RCF is pushed through. He's going to get himself killed. Here comes the CZ. Yuri, the only player left now for FURIA. Sharks, one of their worst buys in this entire half, may be able to get their 4th round off the back of it. Yuri, though, with 50 seconds left.
The bomb is dropped in lobby, and they should know that. Well, still going to take the duel there, just doubling up on him. Solidly done there. Oh, yeah, he was actually able to retrieve it just about before the round ended. That's a lot of weapons scavenged as well for Sharks. That's really good, yeah. What was the round that they pretty much had no business winning? Starts off with the 1 dig here from Exit. Some timely pushes into lobby, really, to thin the herd. Very well done. And Nuke has done this quite a few times, actually. He opted in for that UMP armor in these kind of half-buy rounds. He did it on Mirage as well. This time it pays off in a big way. Now they need to get multiple rounds in a row, though. J&T's not going to find a connection through the smoke. Oh, Art definitely been spotted out, but he still misses out. It's a bit of a gift-wrapped player jumping into his crosshairs, so the J&T not able to capitalize. And meanwhile, things have kind of shifted momentum downstairs as well. And that goes down, only finding the 1-for-1 trade.
Oh, Art nearly got 2. RCF, though, is going to counteract Leo's death. Not enough, though, to stop the bomb plant down on B site. Queserado, as ever, lurking on the upper side, waiting for the rotations to come in. Has spotted RCF, must have heard the footsteps of Exit just to his right-hand side. He's waiting, anticipating the push, and will be getting his 2nd kill. So Sharks' win streak is short-lived.
That it is. J&T having a golden opportunity there to find Art early on, and we saw what kind of chaos he creates for the CT side while staying alive. Also prevents any sort of early rotations to come down towards the lower bomb site. Laugh it. Nuke is left to his own devices in terms of fending that off, and it's not going to be able to do so. FURIA already on 9, looking to make it double figures.
The P90, the salt in the wounds. Oh, plus the rallying call. He's got 3, and he's not done just yet. He's not letting go of W.
Are we actually going to get a P90 ace here? Could be the case. He's doing his damnedest to fend them off. Yeah,
that's
4
the 4K.
kills. He still has 40 HP.
Hold on. Oh, Abel, why you scumbag? You absolute scumbag.
Oh, he's done his end. You can see a cheeky smile there on Art. That's one way to do it. That's one way to speed up the tempo. You never have to reload either. Just keeps running. And I mean, if you want to talk about having, I guess, it's obviously not a counter that FURIA could have read into, but the timing worked out perfectly as well with the counter aggression. Trying to come in from ramp, just not in time, a little bit late on the flash. RCF running into the entire duel with his back turned.
Little spray with Molotov's going to be enough to deal with Art. Nuke is taking damage, though, through the wall of Hut.
Yeah, but getting 1 kill, also doing some damage onto Vinny as well. You take those battles if you're Sharks in this scenario. Finally, the aggression is starting to work out here for Sharks a little bit.
2 players still remain on FURIA, Queserado and Yuri. 2 of their heavy hitters. Definitely capable of the KO blow if Sharks do not respect them. Smoke's being traded out towards the A main side. Nuke gonna hold firm, but he's gonna lose his life. Does a lot of damage to Yuri in the process. Queserado, 1 minute to play with. A 1-on-4. We've seen some of these already kick off with Brazilian players. The likes of Cello spring to mind, which is gonna be an icy chill down the spine of Sharks to hear his name muttered in this situation. Queserado onto RCF to start things off. Molotov into ramp, but it's a fake. It's a ruse. He's trying to draw players out on the ramp side so he can thin them out. And he's still got time, Ven.
Still does. Not enough time to actually rotate out into yard. So he needs to make a decision whether or not he wants to go towards the upper bomb site or just drop down through vents. It's pretty heavily contested right now. 20 seconds to go, so a lot of that time has been eaten up.
There's 2 plays here. This really needs to be it. He's got the second one, though. Leo gonna be bolstered up from heaven, and he's not required. Nice try from Queserado. 10-5 the score, though, on FURIA's map pick of Nuke.
Yep, impressive showing from FURIA, and seemingly in control here on their own map pick. But it's not over just yet. Sharks still have one more half of Counter-Strike to play here on this map before we find any sort of conclusion. But first, we are going to head over to a commercial break. But do join us.
Well, the Sharks are going to need to come back pretty strong and pretty fast too now that the roles are reversing and they're on the T side. 10-5 is the deficit on Furia's choice. And it's not going to get too much easier, you have to think, Ven. They need this pistol so desperately.
Yeah, they really do. And I guess the light at the end of the tunnel yesterday when we saw them playing against INTZ was the fact that they ended up with the first half in a pretty similar fashion, but at that stage they were able to go into their CT side versus INTZ and work on their way for a way to come back, because their T side didn't look as strong as we would have hoped for from a team that actually picked Nuke themselves. But as you said, yeah, a lot of it could come down to the pistol around here. Art, not going to be able to get a kill just yet, but a lot of connections being made, and JNT is going to find him before Yuri responds, though.
All right, Nat, calm down. He just hit his sensitivity button. He's spinning around in circles, but he's going to go down anyway to Quesarado, who is opening up with that P2000. Able to deliver so many headshots, and it may be more. Leo overstays his welcome, overextends out of decon, and he washed down the sink. And Fury have picked up the second pistol. You feel like that was one of the last lifeline Sharks had.
Definitely did feel like that, and you could tell how confident Fury felt about that being a full commitment from the side of Sharks as well. Had rotated all 4 players down. And unless you can find the immediate headshot onto Quesarado in that scenario, you're just done for. No real chance of getting a bomb plant down, and Sharks, yeah, the uphill battle just continues. So it's going to be weapons on the side of Fury. I say weapons, not a whole lot of rifles, but 3 SMGs, auto shotgun, and a FAMAS on Yuri. Yuri, this is a position where he found himself in quite a bit. So I'm getting the better of Ethan versus Energy quite often. Art, meanwhile, is taking a stroll behind T-Red to find 4.
That's pretty much as clinical as you could ask for, Ven.
Yeah.
Not too much out of place there on Furia.
A whole lot of money on Art as well. You can see him sitting on 6K right now.
Yeah, that is the beauty of taking these SMGs, and if you do get pushed, it's so much money in the bank. You can see they just line up for him. Nicely done. I think all 5 kills were actually off the back of MP5s, because the 5th was also in Squeaky.
I think that was Vinny, though, on auto shotgun, but yeah, it's still...
Oh, still plenty of money then.
Massive money, yeah. The FAMAS on Yuri didn't really get to do anything at all. Abel was spotted RCF at the very least, and radio. But this is where, I guess, the downside of having a hefty SMG round comes into play. Sharks have opted for the investment. They've already gotten... ran into a bit of an issue, though. Yuri finding Knack in the opener. So 1 rifle coming into play for Furia early on. But still, the firepower advantage lies with Sharks. Also have a fair bit of utility as well. 4 smokes to their name, 3 Molotovs, 2 flashes. Now withdrawing into T-spawn to set up for the smokes towards Yard.
4 incendiaries remain, 2, one of which is in the hands of Able J, who is solely watching ramp. And he's about to get aggressed on. As soon as he spots a pixel, he's going to toss that out and look to back away. Call for the rest of his team. Leo's taking a lot of damage from that Molotov, though. And now they're going to be dropping down. And really, that's so worthwhile for Able J. He can relocate. So much info for the rest of his team, and now they're starting to funnel into the B side. It's looking really precarious for Sharks. It's going to be an arduous journey across to the B side from here, especially up close. They're going to have to smoke him off. They've done just that.
They only have that one smoke. One Molotov is going to go down to cover off Decon, but again, you can still shoot through here.
And that smoke is going to clear pretty soon. The good news, though, for Sharks is they've managed to get themselves into decent retake positions. This is not going to be an easy task whatsoever. Has started off well, though. They only had 1 HP left. He's been finished off. RCEF spinning around on a swivel with 1. XM from Vinny's going to do work, but now the longer ranges towards ramp are going to be a nightmare. Able J is going to take the fight to the terrorists. J&T remains. Able J going to try and draw him out, and J&T is going to just about hold on. 12-6 Sharks will get one back. It should be mentioned, though, Ven, of 6 rounds, 2 of them are off the first pistol, so it goes to show how brutal that first half was for them.
It really, really was, and well, at least Sharks can finally put a buy round to their name here on the T side, but yeah, with the hefty SMG investment in the first, anti-eco for FURIA, getting that much money, trying to go for a bonus round as well, it means that they have no issues actually rebuying. This is where the real challenge starts for Sharks. They were already having a bit of an issue dealing with the SMGs alone from FURIA.
That's a good point, and that's going to be a confidence in the back of FURIA's mind. It's like, you only just beat us and we kept 4 of our lower tier weapons. 3 MP9s and an XM. Like,
yeah, and you say that like the FAMAS is a higher tier weapon,
yeah, no,
right?
exactly. Yeah. Now we've got AUGs, now we've got M4s and a AWP. Good luck, coming at us.
Exactly. 3 men bolstered up on the upper bomb site from FURIA, and Vinny's going to be the one to find the opening. That's the opera of Sharks going down, J&T. Well, Vinny follows up with it as well. That was just blindly through the smoke as well.
Well, that is the AWP dealt with. But still need to handle the positions that are being dug in pretty deep from FURIA. They've got a player up on Catwalk, watching on the hut, which is always a nightmare position because when you come out of there, there's so many angles you have to be cognizant of. So Shark's going to decide against that. They're going to be taking the bomb over on ramp. This is what pretty much got them downstairs last round, so they may be highlighting this as a potential weakness. Able J, though, going to close the door in RCF's face. Exit smashes it back open again. Only 25 seconds, though, to play with.
Yeah, they're rotating back off a ramp as well, so they're going towards that inner bomb site. Luckily for them, though, a lot of the initial defenses has been rotated away. It's still Quesarado on the top here, and Yuri swings in through ramp, or through main at the right time. They only had to deal with Quesarado there, and were able to go as a unit through hut. Maybe you can get a efficient trade, 1-for-1, and make it onto the bomb site. That gives you at least a bit of an opportunity to play out a potential after plant, but FURIA getting the reads in time. And yeah, just random shots through the smoke is going to net Vinny that second opening.
And again, Sharks win a rifle and then lose instantly. They're just getting no momentum, no kind of streak together.
Probably what they're going through right now. Need to figure out what's going to be the course of action as they move forward. Gonna have to do so with limited funds as well, which is the real hard part about this. Not getting a bomb plant down, being shut down pretty efficiently from the side of FURIA. Means that they're going to have to rock at least 1 round here with pistols, and that's going to allow FURIA most likely to get up to 14.
1 flashbang. Let's see whether they decide to use it. I suggest a ramp to me. I think you go for a HE if you're going to rush A site to blow up the doors, but here we go. They are moving towards the ramp. The idea here is Nak's going to toss it down. They're all just going to pile in together.
And pray.
Yes, with that smoke being down and the HE behind it, this could do a lot of damage. Not anywhere near as much as anticipated. They moved back just in time.
An art.
Of course, it's art. Of course.
Yep. Just throwing a bit of a spanner in the works here for Sharks. So the initial setup, waiting for the flash, doesn't really pan out. Nack still has it to his name, but there's not a whole lot of players to throw it for anymore.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying that smoke is so huge, because it stalls the push, and because they had such little map presence anywhere else and were making no noise, that's when players like Art are going to take the initiative.
Oh, yeah.
That's where they're going to look for those weaknesses.
And you can tell he's been very active so far on this map, 21, 6, and 14. Started off with Yuri, obviously, getting them off to a great start on their T side. He hasn't necessarily been needed to continue on with that momentum, as everyone else on the side of FURIA have also chipped in. Tempo up, vent dive imminent. And I don't think Leo actually managed to find the opening of the vent. I think he just kind of blocked everyone else in case Gerardo's made a meal of it. All right, Nack.
Okay.
32-year-old veteran making at least a case for Sharks to be able to get back into this one.
Yeah, the Sharks have seemed pretty toothless so far, it has to be said, on Nuke. Maybe there's going to be some bite here if JNT and Nack can course correct. Well, Nack's now been
backstabbed by Art.
shuffled off the round. JNT at least has the element of surprise going in his favor.
Yeah, and he knows Able J is up there because he heard a Molotov being tossed out. So, 1v2.
He's going in too. He's not slowing things down. Yuri tapping away. Drops JNT to 16 HP. First headshot's connected. That grenade only does 2 HP. But JNT can survive. Drops down. The bomb, though, is towards the vents of B. Is Yuri going to go in for this?
You might expect JNT to actually move about, but I think he has the open squeaky door to work with as well here if he gets really nervous.
Oh, yeah, that is rough. If the door's closed, I think Yuri probably does go for that peek. And now, on the cross, JNT has read the situation, smoked out. One bullet through the smoke, though, is going to be death and a Molotov. Oh, no. The ultimate nightmare. You just started to believe, and you see the molly land, you think, oh, no. It's just all gone horribly wrong.
Really has.
Nice try, though.
Got to give him credit for the effort. All smiles on the side of FURIA. Haven't really needed to get into that massive shouting match, and yeah, there we see a bit of a staggered push down in towards Vent Kisarado being able to dodge the flashes. Also the smokes being missed on the side of Sharks too, which makes a vent dive all that much harder.
Yeah, this has been super brutal, but it's FURIA's choice. You know, you're saying this before. Train is up next. That's where Sharks are going to be a lot more comfortable.
You say that, right? But the thing that has me worried is that even though this was FURIA's map pick, we saw Sharks picking into Nuke versus INTZ yesterday. So you would have hoped for a bit more of a fight being put up by the T side here, but yeah, it just hasn't been the case. They've ran into, I guess, a classic issue that a lot of teams do when they run into FURIA. Not being able to deal with the aggression, all the funky positions, and getting caught off guard a lot of the time. And I don't think Sharks have by any means played anywhere near the level that they did yesterday versus INTZ. We've seen a lot of botched nades here and there. Just the individuals not being able to step up at the right time.
Yeah, FURIA have shown up to play. There's a slight gap in that smoke. Costs Leo dearly. Down to 19, he will fall. Yuri's not done just yet. That even trade, not too bad for Sharks. That's going to be a weapon they can pick up now. If they go back to find it, which they're deciding against. They're just going to rush downstairs, and here is Art. He's using an off angle. The jump across is going to hurt him. Able J actually is the player that claims the frag. They're now going to be just tunneling their way down into Secret. It's costing them more manpower. They should be able to retrieve the bomb with the smoke being planted down, plus an M4.
Gives them a chance. Next, been able to roam around in towards Yard as well, making his way towards Heaven. Might just be waiting for him to create some chaos, a bit of a distraction here before Exit actually moves about. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Exit is worried about Secret. If anyone's moving down towards Secret, Nack would definitely be in more trouble, given the positioning, but nonetheless, upper bomb site. Seemingly clear. What they don't know is that Vinny's pushed aggressively into HUD.
Right, so he's got a very fast rotation time.
Yeah. Upper bomb side is still the best chance they have of actually getting anything done here. 2 players down on the lower bomb side. That's Able J and Kisarado. It's all about getting through main without dying here on the side of Exit.
He needs to hurry up. There's 15 seconds. This is giving them less and less room for error. There's the smoke onto Squeaky just to be safe, but again, it's hot. Molotov down into vents. Vinny goes a bit too aggressive, gonna get punished. There is enough time for the plant. Into main, Able J moves. Maybe we're not done just yet. Queserato 1 on 2. That HE could claim the life. It's banked off the wall, but exit is gonna perforate Queserato and keep the Sharks' dreams ticking forward.
That's still in it with a bit of a hope at least. Nax showing veterancy right there to bring them back into that round. It really was all on him as well. You could tell that they definitely had a clear plan. Exit was not meant to move until Nack had gotten any sort of confirmation as to what was going on.
Yeah, question there though, Vinny went in alone to try and deny the bomb plant. If maybe he should have just held back and waited for the rest of his team.
I think that would be the approach a lot of teams would go for, but again, it does feel a little bit in the opposite direction of what FURIA usually do, right?
Sure, plus you got a 15-6 lead, confidence probably running very high.
Absolutely.
You just want to get this over and done with.
I feel like you could probably luck into a round at this stage.
But what I would say for Sharks, to give some glimpses of hope, is that the economy of FURIA is pretty low. The downside is they've lost the first player up on Silo, so it gives them less room for error outside. But if Sharks can win this round cleanly from this point forward, FURIA would be into ecos, and they could bridge the gap significantly.
JT had an idea that somebody might be playing close up, and he will be right. And he spotted the body as well. Finds a double kill. All of a sudden, it's 3 going the way of Sharks here. JT finding 1 here. He's going to try to sneak behind on ramp, see if he can find Exit waiting for his arrival. Does good damage. He's actually going to win it out. Not taking too much damage at all by himself. He's going to be able to pick up an SG as well. With that Kevlar, he pose a bit of a threat. Knack, though. Right place, right time.
He was patient, too. He could sense that he could get the kill if he just took his time. JNT going to close it out onto Vinny. 15-8, and the economy for FURIA is in the toilet, so they're going to have to eco. So this is a chance now for Sharks to show what they're capable of doing on the T side of Nuke.
Again, just for them to be able to close out the map in an okay fashion is going to do a lot for them, I think, confidence-wise going into train. Just feel like you had at least a bit of a say in what went on Nuke instead of just getting blown out of the server. Pistols for FURIA, and aggression is the name of the game.
It is Carnage, a cluster of counter-terrorists try and throw themselves at the wall, and they have rebounded, made of concrete. Art, last player left, only with a USP. Interesting he didn't run in with the rest of his team there.
I was about to say, Art, last player alive. It's probably the first time anyone's ever said that.
Definitely not a player you could accuse of being a baiter. That is for sure. He baits himself.
Pretty much. Well, 9 rounds. Sharks looking to get to double figures here. They will have to go up against the buy. Art with the op in hand now. It's going to be a glass cannon, though. So very susceptible to nades and just slight tags to mess with his crosshairs. But at least the Sharks are putting up a better footing here towards the end of it. I think that's a good sign before we go into that second map, regardless of how this ends.
And he perched up on Hut once again. Giving up main, he's going to just throw in the underarm smoke to block the vision of JNT. Understandably, with a lot on the line, Sharks are playing a lot more passively. Keep in mind, this is an elimination match. The loser of this cannot qualify for the major.
He actually connecting a couple of bullets onto Exit there through the wall. Art. Yep. Forward as always, he's going to find Leo. So he tries to get control over Yar. That's not to be the case. Now Sharks once again on the back foot. It's still a lot of nades on the side of Sharks here. Much more so than the CT side. They kind of need to be able to get towards the bomb site for that to really matter.
Jay not going to wait around to find out just how many bullets are firing his way. There's plenty of Sharks players willing to take his head off. Downstairs they will traverse. That's a freebie for Art. No flashbang preceding the peak. They're going to start to see some smokes coming in.
Well,
there's a flashbang. And Arc, yeah, as you say, can just hold the side. Able J surely going to go to task as they're focusing elsewhere, but it's just the one kill. Sharks still in this. 14 seconds to play with, though. Now they're going to nail the smoke. But is it too little too late? JNT turns his back at the worst possible moment. It took a bit longer than anticipated, but FURIA get it done 16-9.
Do get it done in the end. So that's FURIA's own map pick being secured. Train, the one to come up next. And, well, it's not FURIA's map pick. That's a map that they've definitely been willing to play. So I'm not sure how confident I feel about Sharks' chances to finish the winners to a third.
Yeah, I'm looking at it more from the mentality of Sharks as opposed to FURIA. Like that obviously was a bit of a disappointing result, but now they do have Train. They've made their bed, they now have to lay in it. They have to try and make this comeback come to fruition. And then if we get to a third map, I know you're loving this, it's Vertigo, so who knows? Yeah,
I mean, at that point, it feels like a bit of a wild ride, right? I think somebody thought, I think it might have been Singularity, actually, who picked Vertigo against Sharks at an earlier stage here, thinking that, you know, there's no recorded map of them playing it. They haven't really put in that much time, or so they thought, and Singularity, I think, managed to get 6 rounds in total on that map. So that could go either way once we get to that point, but again, it's on Sharks to win Train.
Well, we're going to throw it over to the desk to break down all the action from the first map.